GM guys, it's your Quan here, and today new video, long time no see. We are going to discuss about a spot trade opportunity, then few trades I took this week and few trades opportunity that I will most likely take for next week. So let's start. So more about trading, more about how to make money, take money from the markets. We are on OKX. We just signed, a partnership with OKX, so we'll be mainly using OKX now. They secure like some stuff in terms of regulation in Europe. I think they are leading that. Kraken is also following up, but OKX is way bigger, way more pairs, way more liquid. So that's the best place to trade. So we'll move slowly but surely to OKX everything and trade mainly on OKX. So very excited. So get used to, the UI UX because you will see it quite a lot. And thank you for all supporting. Link in the description. If you don't have an account, you will have explosive bonuses. You can win up to $300 in rewards. OKX is really, I would say, putting the efforts to try to have everybody moving to their platform. I think they want to take over Europe, which is smart. It's a very big market, not super well addressed. And yeah, so we start with lighter. So I want to get more exposure to perp dexes, hyperliquid, Aster, lighter, and few other ones. So these days I'm quite trying to farm actively some perp dexes. Hype, I sold half of my bag. If you are in the Mirror Club or in trenches, you know where I sold it, where I want to buy back this part of my bag, and I still have half that I will sell if hyperliquid pumps higher. Then you have Aster, the hyperliquid of Binance. I will probably do a video on that, but let's discuss about lighter today. So lighter, why it's interesting? It's down since TG, it went down up to 80%. It's below 1 billion FDV. I was like, when it's below 1 billion FDV, I will be interested. So of course, a lot of people were using lighter because of the incentive of an airdrop. Then most of the people left. But for lighter, my play is a bit different, right? What I see with lighter is like institutional will move more to lighter than hyperliquid, stuff like that, So how to do a spot trade here? So lighter will become interesting for me to trade it like on the future. So of course, be careful guys on the leverage, maximum 2x, 3x, don't use leverage, Be careful to what you read on Twitter, and everything I'm saying is not financial advice, of course. But lighter, I will be interested in trying to trade it more aggressively if it flips above $1.2, and show some signs of momentum. Up to now, it's a bit weak, so it's more for me a spot trade. So I will buy spot, no leverage, and just wait, So we had lighter, really compressing, since weeks and weeks now, starting to show some, consolidation area here. So of course, depending on like how Bitcoin would perform and so on. But I want to start to take a bag, between 0.9 and let's say 0.6, So it's a very wide zone. So a zone of 30%. So this is the first mistake retail do, is that they rush too much, If they see some guys talking about lighter, then they're like, okay, I want to buy a lighter, and like they FOMO in, Let's not FOMO. So how you don't FOMO? Let's say you want to invest $500 on lighter. Let's say it's approximately 500 lighter, it's a bit more, but let's say 500 lighter. You will just post some limit orders along the way. So 0.8, 0.9, and you just post those orders, 0.7, and then perhaps 0.75 also, and then 0.6, and let's say 65. So, I'm scaling my orders down, so I have 5, 6 orders, and the goal is to have, lighter, going down, getting all my limit orders filled, and then I just wait, and I will have a better price than if I'm buying market here. And I would rather lose an opportunity than taking a bad one. So that's why only use limit orders, and you have also lower fees. So just use limit order. So that's the first spot. Buying lighter that I'm doing, buying lighter in this zone to sell it above 1.2. Let's say when there is some momentum on it. Trades that I have taken this week. So I took a first short on Morpho that I closed yesterday. So it has been a way shorter trade than expected. Why? Because I feel, the drama around the hack and so on. So I opened it like last week. Is getting better, so I'm closing it. So you see here, I'm not closing, and I shared it in the private group. I'm not closing because of technical stuff. I'm closing because of sentiment of like what I see on Twitter. So that's why it's very important to always try to have some crossing of like fundamental analysis, looking at the chart, looking at the order flow, and so on. So that's what I did this week. Also, I was expecting this week to have oil going up. but oil is a wild beast to trade, so I'm not touching it. But congrats if you made money trading oil this week. And I opened a short on XO, something around 40, 48, 0 something ish to a swing of like $100, you know. So that's been a very cool trade, and I closed it because I want to close it before the weekend. You know, that's the thing with gold that is hard, is like you want to close it before the weekend, because during the weekend, you know, Trump most of the time does some military stuff or like some news and so on. So then the market can open with a big gap. But of course, if you trade XO and Pax Gold in crypto, then you are a bit safer. Why? Because it's open during the weekend, which is cool, right? So which is very, very cool. And I think, you know, that's why everything will move to crypto, moving on chain. That's why I'm very bullish, like all those perplexes, because, you know, all the boomers in TradeFi will stop trading XO on their stock exchange if they don't open during the weekend, right? And be open 24/7. So that's why, you know, I think crypto, you know, the 24/7, you know, crypto markets are always open. They will force, you know, TradeFi to either do the same and survive, or don't do the same and die slowly, you know. So that was it. Then an interesting one that, you know, I will discuss a bit more about order flow, because I have so many questions about that. I think nobody talks about order flow in crypto, but that's the biggest edge. Is some guys in the private community told me, Julian, should we short Orca? I don't want to short Orca, because look at the fundings, minus 15% a day. You open your position, you get murdered just staying short if the price doesn't move. So no, not shorting Orca. Liquidity is low. Koreans are buying it crazy. That's why it's very important to, before opening a trade, checking as much as possible, as many things as possible, right? But Koreans are killing it. So let's not reverse trade the Koreans, because we know how degen they are. So yeah, Orca, I'm just letting it run. I have a super small bag. So yeah, did I fade it generational wealth? I don't know. But yeah, Orca, you should not short it. And now a few trading opportunities. So on pump, I think pump is interesting if it's doing a move down. I will open a long, you know, to long the bottom of the range and to play a bounce. So that's the first one. So no rush. I will place a limit order, you know, again, if you need for it to sit. So I go on pump. Okay, let's say I open at 0.0 stuff. And let's say in terms of money management, I want to open a position of $200. So 100,000 pump. I will open it. And me, what I like to do on those positions is to then modify it and add a take profit trailing stop, you know. And so let's say I would put at 0.0019 and I check, okay, it's a 11% trade plus $20 and I click confirm. Like that, it's passive, you know. At some point I will be filled, and then I will monitor the price. I will have, of course, an invalidation. If it breaks the range on the low, I will most likely close it, you know, manually. And yeah, so yeah, that's one. Another one, I think the confidence is pretty low, but why not, is the fact that I think the AAV drama is getting close to an end, and so it's shorting, you know, here. So let's do it live. So for this one, I will have stop loss and take profits. So let's say you do $250 size position. So let's say 2.5 AAV, and okay, I will buy long, I'm getting filled. Then I have a position open. So here I'm doing it live with you on this like demo account. It's no real account, but like small account, just for you to, you know, understand and like get a feeling. And because I had a lot of questions of like, Julian, can you show us a bit more how you trade? So feel free to go back, reverse. I don't know if that helps you and so on. But on AAV, so we put my take profit at 111, let's say, and my stop loss at, let's say, 86, let's say. So here I have like almost a risk reward of 2, and yeah, boom. Now I can go back to sleep, you know. So here it's a rare case where I put like a stop loss, but I prefer it because like it makes sense, but you know, I'm a bit scared of the wicks in crypto, so that's why. And yeah, and one that I taken that was a breakout long was Pengu also this week, but I'm still in the trade, haven't closed it, so that's why I haven't mentioned it earlier in the video. So I hope it runs a bit higher. And yeah, that's it, I think, for today. So yeah, I'm a bit, you know, I've been shorting quite a lot in the last few months. You know, we are in April, so I've been shorting a lot Q1, Q4 last year. But I'm a bit more now, you know, scared on short selling, because I think, you know, some coins can run. So if you enter some shorts, you have to have like a well-placed stop loss, otherwise you can get in trouble. So don't forget, manager is the proper way. Be careful about leverage, and yeah, that's it. That was your quant. Hope you liked the video. Feel free to drop any comments on like what you want me to trade or see. And yeah, it was more like a live trading session. And thanks again for OKX for supporting us. Link in the description, guys. Go show them the power of the community. Cheers.